Hey there, it's Manny with Daddy Kool Records in St. Petersburg, Florida, here to talk with you about new releases for Friday, November 19th. And Friday, November 19th also happens to be my mom's birthday, so shout out to my mom. Happy birthday. Hope you're enjoying your day today. As you will see, we are in our new location at 2606 Fairfield Avenue South. If you were at our old location before, you'll find us very easily. We have just moved 2 blocks west. The best way to get in is off of 28th Street. There is a entrance off 28th Street just north of the trail, and that will run parallel. There's a big parking lot all along the trail. So just come in off of 28th Street. Super simple. All right, so now let's get into these new releases. First off, we have to start off with, it's the biggest band in the world. So we have a EP from Ringo Starr. It came out on CD earlier this year, and now it is out on vinyl. All right, now for the big new release of the week. That is Adele. Adele we have on compact disc as well as on vinyl. More new music from J Balvin with his album Jose. All right, next up with a new release this week, we have a greatest hits package from James Blunt. It includes 4 new songs and it is on clear colored vinyl. The third installment from Cold War Kids, New Age Norms, number 3. Next up we have the album When You Walk Away by the band Fur, F-U-R, Fur. Hand Habits, their CD came out a week or 2 ago. The vinyl is out now. Next up, we have some punk rock magic from Heart Attack Man with their album Thoughts and Prayers, both with a Z. All right, recently released on compact disc was the latest from Idols, their album Crawler. We now have it on LP as well. We have it on a standard colored vinyl, $24.99, and we have it on a deluxe 2 LP set cut at 45 RPM. So when it sounds like there's a man on the record, you'll know why. It needs to play at 45 RPM. And that one is $37.99. All right, next up, we have the latest from Matt Kierkes. It was recorded during the pandemic, and it is on blue with orange splatter colored vinyl. Okay, next up, we have the latest from Kississippi with their album Mood Ring. We have it on 2 different variants. We have it on a red as well as a green and blue, both $19.99. Another pandemic live stream on Wax. This is Low Cut Connie with Tough Cookies, the best of the quarantine broadcasts. It is a double LP, $29.99. All right, next up we have the latest from Magdalena Bay. We have it on a red colored vinyl as well as on compact disc. Next up, we have the latest from Need to Breathe with Into the Mystery. This album was recorded hot on the heels of their release of their 2020 release, which they couldn't go out on the road and tour for, so they went back in the studio and recorded another album. Okay, next up we have Pineapple Thief with their album Nothing But the Truth, yet another live stream on Wax. All right, for me, possibly the most anticipated album of the week. This is Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. They have joined forces yet again for their album Raising the Roof. We have it on compact disc as well as on LP with the alternative artwork. Not the alternative colored vinyl, but the alternative artwork. Next up, we have Primal Scream. It is on pink colored vinyl. It is live from Levitation, and this was recorded in 2015. Next up, we have the latest from Andy Schaaf. We have it on compact disc as well as on a blue colored vinyl. Okay, next up, we have an album from Spiritworld. It is entitled Pagan Rhythms. It is described as some desert heavy riffing meets Slayer sounds. So I definitely want to check that out. Probably closer to closing. Next up, we have the latest release from Bruce Springsteen. It is live, recorded in 1979 at the No Nukes benefit show. We have it on a 2 CD set that also includes a DVD. Pretty nice. And that is on sale for $27.99. And then we also have it on an LP. It is a double LP, and that is $38.99. Okay, next up we have the latest from Joanna Sternberg, Then I Try Some More. Alright, I'm including this one in the new releases, even though it's been out for, it seems like a couple months, but this is the yellow colored vinyl that people have been seeking. Thrice with Horizons East. Alrighty, next up on the new releases, but have been out for a while, the CD for 21 Pilots has been out for a little bit, but now we have the vinyl, and it is a clear colored vinyl. Scaled and Icy from 21 Pilots. Alright, next up we have the rare item for the week. This is Colyer Wall, live in front of nobody. Again, another live stream that on wax. This is extremely limited. The record company has asked us to not do any pre-sales for this. It's basically a surprise release. You can call us on the phone and reserve one if you're going to come in the store and pick it up. Otherwise, you can just come in the store and pick one up. And it's not going to be available on our website. That's the main point. No shipping with this record, really. Come on in. Alright, and next up with the new releases, we have a greatest hits package from the weekend. It's called Highlights. It is a double LP, and it is $49.99. Reissues. Dun, 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 dun. Aesop Rock Labor Days 2001 release, 20th anniversary edition. Okay, next up we have a couple of reissues from Autechre. We have Chiastic Slide, as well as LP5. Alrighty, next up we have a couple of RSD Essential releases. RSD Essentials are record store day titles that get released throughout the course of the year. And we have a couple from Cage the Elephant. Both are on clear with smoke colored vinyl. We have Tell Me I'm Pretty, as well as Mellophobia. Alright, next up we have a reissue from Carcass with their album Surgical Steel. We have it on blue swirl with red splatter colored vinyl. Carcass. Alright, more hard rock gems for you. Dying Fetus, celebrating their 25th anniversary of Purification Through Violence, and it is on a bone colored vinyl. Alright, next up we have an album that was recorded in the late 70s, early 80s. The name of the band was eventually The Hawks. Started out as obviously Five Believers and then transitioned into The Hawks. Once again, this is songs from the late 70s, early 80s. We're going to be spinning this one later. Time to revisit my childhood with Kiss Destroyer. Fucking love this album. This is the reissue treatment. It is a double LP. First LP is the album remastered, as well as a second LP of demos and rarities. Destroyer. It's a gatefold LP as well. So who knows what sort of magic's inside there. Alrighty, next up we have some hard rock reissues from Lizzy Borden. First off we have Masters of Disguise. It is on blue colored vinyl. And then we also have the album Deal with the Devil, and it is on gray colored vinyl. Alright, more reissues that are just on a different colorway section, and we'll start that one off with Nude Party. It is a colored vinyl reissue, as well as Caroline Rose, with her album Loner, both on colored vinyl. More reissues on just a colored vinyl. This is St. Vincent with Daddy's Home, her latest album, and it is on gray colored vinyl. Alright, next up we have the 50th anniversary remaster reissue edition of Cat Stevens' Tea and the Fire Cat. We have it on compact disc as well as on vinyl. And I forgot to mention that Kiss album, we also have it on compact disc. It is a 2 CD set that mirrors the 2 LP set. Alright, next up we have Umphrey's McGee, part of the 10 Bands One Cause series on pink colored vinyl to raise money and awareness for breast cancer research. We have their 2009 album Mantis. Alrighty, and one more reissue, that would be Wiz Khalifa with his album Rolling Papers. It is on a blue splatter colored vinyl. I'm super excited about this week's jazz releases that we just got in. Whole bunch of reissues and one that it just sounds super killer. We have a series from the Blue Note Classics. We have a bunch of those, starting off with Art Blakey's The Big Beat, and this is the first album with Wayne Shorter, I do believe, as part of his band. Next up, 1975's Places and Spaces by Donald Byrd, also on the Blue Note Classic series. Bobbi Humphrey with Fancy Dancer. This album originally came out in 1975 as well. Alright, as part of the Acoustic Sounds series, we have a really nice audiophile reissue of Charles Mingus's The Black Saint and the Sinner Lady. It is on a very nice gatefold jacket, $35. Alright, one more reissue from Blue Note with their classic series. We have Horace Silver Quintet with 6 pieces of silver. Alright, the last of the jazz albums that we had in this week. This is Makaya McCraven's Deciphering the Code. Deciphering the Message. And I'm super excited to check this one out. He was given access to the Blue Note catalog, and he's created a whole new album using the original songs as well as adding his own instruments to it. Sounds really, really cool. If you've been paying attention to new jazz lately, Makaya McCraven's in the middle of it, so this is going to be a really interesting one to check out. Once again, Deciphering the Message from Makaya McCraven. Alright, we like to call this section CDs Only. These are the CDs that we got in this week that we only got in on compact disc. Start that off with Jerry Cantrell with his latest album, Brighton. Okay, next up we have Converge with their latest album, Blood Moon 1. It is available on compact disc, and we will see the vinyl at the end of June 2022. Okay, file this one under, Manny's going to butcher the name of this band, Der Weg einer Fight. Some black metal. We got it on compact disc. Speaking of metal, we have the Eagles of Death Metal with a Christmas album, and we have that on compact disc. Next up, we have the soundtrack to the Wes Anderson film, The French Dispatch. We have it on compact disc right now, and we expect to see the vinyl January 7th. So no Christmas gifts on the vinyl for that one, unless you buy a gift certificate from Daddy Kool Records, which you can do online right now. Alright, next up, speaking of right now, we have The Dawn of Chromatica, a reimagined, remixed version of Lady Gaga's latest album. We have it on compact disc, and you can pre-order the LP, which comes out February 4th. You can pre-order that right now on daddykool.com. Next up, we just have it on CD land, we have Me and That Man with their album New Man, New Songs, Same Shit, Volume 2. This features the Behemoth lead singer. And last up in the just have on CD category, we have Willie Nelson and Family. This is a gospel album. It sounds so cool. They're covering Chris Christopherson, George Harrison. It's Willie Nelson, his sister, his sons, his whole family. It's Willie Nelson and the Family. All right, it ain't over. It's holiday season. You know what part of holiday season is? Box sets. Genesis is back. They're hitting the road. We have their latest called The Last Domino. It's pretty much a greatest hits kind of package. Covers their whole career. It is a 2 CD set as well as a 4 LP set. And you'll see this side up. It's going to be in the bins like this. You can find this in our bins at Daddy Kool Records with the other Genesis records. Okay, next up we have a box set from the Grateful Dead. Again, you will find this in the Grateful Dead section at Daddy Kool Records. This was recorded in 1971 in St. Louis, Missouri. It is a 5 LP set. All right, next up we got a box set. We've got a super deluxe version, 30th anniversary of the Tragically hip, their album Road Apples. It is given the super deluxe treatment where you have the album and you have concerts and you have outtakes. If you have a Tragically hip fan on your list this year, keep that in mind. All right, and lastly, the last thing. What would the holiday season be without new holiday records? We talked about the latest from Chili Gonzalez. We had it on CD a couple weeks ago. Now we have it on vinyl. This album features Feist. Next up, we have Manchester Orchestra with their Christmas album, and it is on red colored vinyl. Okay, next up, we have the latest from Lucinda Williams, Lou's Jukebox Volume 5, and this is a Christmas album. All right, once again, let's remind you that we have moved. Our address is 2606 Fairfield Avenue South. You can Access us easily off of 28th Street. There's an entrance just north of the trail. And Black Friday, we are open at 11 a.m. We are no appointments necessary. We're letting people in based on capacity. Once again, we're asking that, as before, we ask you to wear a mask, cashless payments. Nothing's really changed, just the address, okay? So once again, we'll be opening at 11 a.m. And if you want to see the list of records that are out on Record Store Day Black Friday, just go to recordstoreday.com and check out that list. All right, hopefully we will see you soon.